Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I was just here, and you know, sometimes it's hard to say things, so I just wanted to write them down because it's easier sometimes to pass notes for.
So
Nick,
something you want to ask me?
So
or?
Nick, this is actually for you. Hold on, I want this to be a nice clean rip here. This is really embarrassing for I usually don't do things like this.
Will you cast with me? Of course I will, Evan.
Thanks, Nick. I feel so good.
I would love to.
And if you want to feel that good in game, you got somebody you got your eye on, you want to play a couple games with them, go ahead and buy yourself a couple of Valentine's Day chests, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Get the Grover Rose petals. Get yourself an Androxus, Love Revolver, look like stolzey, play like stolzey, and play Sky as well. Grok's in there. He got some love finally. Pip, I mean,
the love beam.
It's contagious. I have some, if you can't tell already. My name is Rainy. This is Hi-Rez Pretty Hair. We're going to be heading into the finals here. AGG versus Team Eager. It's exciting to see both of these teams. I mean, AGG had to battle the battle of time. I felt like we were watching, you know, they're on Mount Mordor, just like finishing off this epic tale, and now they have to face off another one again against a very, very good team. Team Eager.
Neither of these teams were in the finals last week, so turmoil in North America. Nothing is assured at this point. These first place, second place finishes are so big. They're worth so many points. And these two teams will start their battle for those points on Jaguar Falls. We'll head on into the champion draft here. Can AGG, they didn't utilize Torvald against Astro Authority. Can they do so here? Because Team Eager, we've seen, if Team AGG aren't going to bring it out, this gives Eager so much more room in their draft to be able to get an impact pick last. We've seen what that can do. I mean, Awry did it with Bomb King a while back, and now Eager are starting to look that way with Torvald.
And they will select Drogos again. So Drogos Maldamba, the top tier 2 response to a Makoa, which is really interesting. I wonder if that's more in response to Makoa or maybe more in response to what teams usually like to pick up in response to a Makoa.
So I think it's because it leaves Fernando on the table, sure, but Drogos is so good against both of those characters.
So maybe they feel like this maybe baits them out away from the Fernando. But, you know, the way Eager plays with Torvald, I feel like Fernando kind of falls into their game plan.
Sure, that's why Eager aren't picking it up right away. Anyway, they could come through with the Fernando Torvald last. They already have their healer. They just need to go for their impact damage picks. Maeve's on the table. Eevee, Cassie. Still on the table. Torvald will be one of the 2 selections here. Androxus, Shaolin, both good things to take away from stolzey for sure.
And AGG will be forced now to grab Fernando as a secondary tank, or they will have to leave that on the table. Maybe pick up a Ruckus, go for some more DPS, still have some defensive capabilities. And of course, there's just still Barrack, Nick. I mean, they could pick
Definitely,
Barrack.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
I mean, that seems it's pretty top tier right now. I miss the guy, man. We used to see Barrack so much, and I know how much you love Barrack.
He can stay dead forever.
I know how much you're really into him. So you know, you can hopefully see him in these games coming up. But Rovaniik is going to select Bomb King, Ying to follow, or vice versa rather.
Yeah.
And then Team Eager now with the final pick. It's Cassie. Not surprising here. This is looking like the
needs something to play.
I like the Bomb King though. I like the Bomb King coming out from Rovaniik again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's his comfort pick. It's so good against Torvald as well with those Ruckers. And Grumpy Bomb's not something he can get away from rather, and then hook into the Grumpy Bomb. I expect to see that here and there. Prince Danny will be on the Androxus, Bubble Boy on Ying, Grapple on Shaolin, Rovaniik on Bomb King, and ElZulu on Makoa.
Wi-Fi now no longer hitting those hot Makoa pulls. He'll be on Team Eager on Maldamba. stolzey will be on the Drogos. Bitey will be on Torvald, Awry on Cassie, and ShadeeyShades on to Maeve. And so Bitey's got a lot of targets now that are going to be looking for duels. stolzey is going to be very important to keep the Dragon alive. We saw how impactful he was against AGG when he could stay alive, but ElZulu, he has been known to hit those hooks onto the Dragon. Let's see if it takes place here, Nick. Cards coming out, though, for both these teams.
Morale Boost is the selection for both Maeve and for stolzey, so looking to have a big impact with Midnight as well as Dragon Punch. Master Riding coming online for ElZulu to try and get in there first, try and get that hook. He will be the first one to reach the point. There's the Grumpy Bomb, and it just forces Torvald off. Grumpy Bomb is going to be a very impact skill
Oh no, PrinceDannyTV already gets the first kill, continues the winning ways that he has shown on his damage dealers, and now Rovaniik is just going to go and eliminate Bitey. Was Torvald even picked? I'm not sure. That was absolute deletion from Rovaniik, and he continues to onslaught the backline of Team Eager. That is a pick that is almost looking like a regretted pick right now if Rovaniik continues to do what he just did.
It's going to be so impactful, this Bomb King against the Torvald. He's easy to hit. Wrecker as well. You can see how hard this Torvald does get hit every single time when he eats one of those bombs. 75% increased damage when it is blowing up that personal shield. Bitey takes ElZulu down with him, but Eager, they definitely falling short here in this first round. The Makoa and the Torvald, I think, was what was making that Torvald appear to be so good. And Torvald on his own, I don't think we've seen that work yet.
Yeah, I think that's the case as well. Being the only frontliner, he's so exposed, he's so vulnerable to what the Wreckers can do to him. That increased damage to shields, so effective in the late game and especially the early game when you have those big blasters like Bomb King going full speed ahead with the damage. PrinceDannyTV looking for one, sees that Maeve is buzzing around there, tries to spot her out, misses the first, misses the second. He's going to just reload the revolver and stay content here as he continues to zone.
And to your point of Torvald, it's only going to get worse as these Wreckers get to level 2. Even Wrecker 3, it's an expensive investment. I don't know that they'll go that far, but it's only going to get more and more difficult for Bitey in these situations here. Now trying to clean up PrinceDanny, but doesn't get it done. stolzey launches the Dragon Punch, but taken out mid-flight. Won't find the mark there as well. Bitey is healthy, getting into this fight on Makoa, but Makoa takes so long for Torvald to kill. So able to drain that shell shield, get himself out to about halfway, but these Wreckers are just having their way with Torvald right now, and AGG are rolling here. A minute left as they round the final corner, breaking the base of Eager.
2 shots in the air on a stolzey, 4 for Rovaniik. Not an easy task to deal with an airborne dragon and finish him off, but he is just looking to finish off anyone that steps in his path. This Torvald is no exception. He's got 1, he's got 2, make that 3 in the bank. 2-0 for Team AGG, 5 streak for Rovaniik.
And this looks like, you know, Divine Esports trying to stand against Eager. Eager now getting run through on Jaguar Falls, the map that they just won on. The tables have been turned, the script has been flipped. Rovaniik now with the Wrecker 2, it's going to be that much quicker that Bitey falls. stolzey missing the Dragon Punch there was not the gourd either. Maldamba almost has Dread Serpent ready to go, but the snowball, it's just going to be so real. And it's not as if anything, I would say Eager's team falls off harder late game, especially when you look at stolzey, who doesn't have a Wrecker or any of that. Only the cauterized ones online right now from Awry and ShadeeyShades. All they've got is Hyper Beam and Midnight as they try to find their way, find a win here in this team fight, try and get themselves a payload to be pushed.
King Bomb. It's available. Rovaniik, we're following along with him. He's been doing the deed to the frontliners. Can someone take him out before he does too much damage? Maeve trying, but ShadeeyShades instantly deleted yet again. PrinceDannyTV and Rovaniik proving to be such an incredible combo, but it's not going to do anything against that. Rovaniik still dead. Bitey, though, made that happen with the Hyper Beam. Torvald showing some value, falling though in the end, but grabbing a couple of kills nonetheless. So finally, Torvald at least showing some umph in a fight.
Midnight has the popped here, Dragon Punch as well, but they'll at least be able to see it coming. stolzey runs into a Ying clone. Gets nothing for his Dragon Punch.
You're done, son. That's not going to work on me. Another pull from ElZulu is going to set up Bubble Boy to finish this off. Again, great job by Bubble Boy to finish it off with these kills, with these just the follow-up damage. And PrinceDannyTV in the back line, that's not where you want to see him. Nice reversal, misses that, but ends up getting the reset anyways. No damage there, but he does have the nether step available. That's probably more like the case and scenario. Rovaniik now moving forward, 99% captured, and that is going to mean 3-0 for AGGG. Now, I'm not sure we expected this much of a one-sided game.
And the draft here, this Bomb King, the draft is becoming a chess match as teams are starting to have more and more pocket picks that other teams just simply aren't going for. This Bomb King is slaughtering Torvald right now because so many of the other tanks, Makoa, Fernando, Ruckus not so much, but he's even more mobile than Torvald. But Fernando and Makoa can just pull up their shield to eat the Grumpy Bomb. They don't have to get all the way off the point. The personal shields with Ruckus and Torvald, they have to leave. They have to exit stage left once the Grumpy Bomb comes out, or they're going to eat that stun.
PrinceDannyTV also just feels confident on this Androxus, and stolzey on Drogos is a bit of an odd thing to say. I don't know if I've ever said this out of my mouth, and that is important to note because stolzey, he's known for his aim, and Drogos, yeah, you can have great aim with him, but PrinceDannyTV shows you what good aim will do when you got a revolver like that, and the Dragon Punch, despite how valuable it is for team compositions, is never going to be able to outmatch some of that damage from far away, and AGG just cleaned that one up. I mean, that is a full sweep if I've ever seen one.
They got destroyed.
They got bodied.
stolzey 0 for 3 on his Dragon Punches. Misses, gets taken out of the air twice, and then hits a Ying clone on one of them. 35,000 damage to his name. Still almost top damage. Awry taking that from him, but you know, Drogos almost always has top damage. You know, Fire Spit, just all that poke damage. It's not necessarily resulting in kills. You can see 2 eliminations for most of the members of Eager. ShadeeyShades leading the team with 3 there. 22-0 for PrinceDannyTV of Team AGG.
We didn't see a lot of stolzey's perspective in that game as well. You know, we kind of were left to just know that he died. He wasn't impacting the fight. It's interesting because Bubble Boy didn't die at all. And I wonder, were they going for him and not getting those kills? Was he just using Dimensional Link to buy time? Was that what made these snowball fights? Because then they just picked off 2 and it was just GG from that point. Interesting to see. We'll see if the draft continues to be so strong for AGG and where they'll be playing next. More importantly, it'll be Fish Market. Second game. That's an interesting pick.
So the Torvald that early, I think hurt Eager a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it was so much more potent when paired with the Makoa because of the follow-up there. So Eager hopefully getting first pick in this game. They'll definitely take the Makoa because that's just consistent throughout. Getting into the champion draft here. Team Eager will have the first pick. So in this situation, I think they can go Torvald. Torvald by himself, and especially against the Bomb King. But the Bomb King isn't something, I guess you could see it coming, playing against Rovaniik, but it isn't something that they had to deal with. It's not something that's like and fresh in their minds coming off of that last set. Yeah,
and you know, they're not necessarily spectating these games like we are, right? They're in the middle playing their matches, getting ready for the next set. They're not watching it like we are and seeing how, oh man, Rovaniik's been unstoppable on Bomb King. You know, they know Rovaniik plays a good Bomb King, but a lot of the teams in NA have a good Bomb King, despite not knowing how on fire he's been. So, Nick, to say they weren't prepared, I mean, you look at Tooney on Xenasi. I mean, they had to play against Tooney earlier on. They should know what good Bomb Kings can do. That was a big no-no, drafting Torvald, the only tank against that. But again, they drafted it early, and that was the big reason. They got counterpicked with the Bomb King. Can they pick it up late if it's on the table?
You know, with more champions rather coming into the draft, there's less of that mind game that can be played. When there was, you know, back in the day when there was 10 viable champions, you could do that sort of thing where it's like, oh, we have the Torvald, what are you going to do now? You're going to pick that for, oh, no, you just picked a Bomb King and blew me up.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, never mind. Moving on.
Moving on.
Androxus Maldamba for Team Eager after the Makoa and Fernando Cassie. So Torvald, I like Torvald in this situation, you know. Right now, AGG have the Fernando, which it's great against.
They still last picking the Bomb King potential, but they've got the Makoa too. That's huge. I mean, being able not only to have the Makoa to support the Torvald, but having Wi-Fi back on that champion who he was phenomenal on Makoa and on Stonekeep especially. Now in Fish Market, he can really show his stuff, and they will pick the Torvald now. This is a good pick, I think.
This is dominant. Torvald synergizes well with flankers that are squishy just to make them inherently tankier with the protection. Also, we saw a lot of Bitey just bubbling Wi-Fi because Makoa is very dangerous when he's up in your face, when he's getting that 2,000 HP shield, you know, every so often. But the Bomb King here, it's got to be big. It's got to be big here to shut down what Torvald is looking to do. Torvald's got a lot of good synergies with a lot of these champions on Eager this time around. I think he does a lot better as a supplementary frontliner, not so great in the solo frontliner role.
Absolutely.
But we'll see what Bitey's able to get done with him here. ShadeeyShades on Eevee, Wi-Fi, and Makoa. Awry on Maldamba, and stolzey on his signature Androxus.
Bitey starting off with Rejuvenate and Resilience, a very interesting pick. Now, both of those being 200 credits. You have the option to start out that way. Interesting stuff. Team AGG on that side, it's going to be Bubble Boy on Ying, Grapple on Shaolin, PrinceDannyTV on Cassie, Rovaniik on Bomb King, ElZulu on the Fernando.
And they're going with a couple of cauterizes here, too, for both squads here. Bubble Boy's got one, Danny's got the other. Hopefully we see ElZulu get into that. Healing was just not a big part of Eager last time. That Maldamba, I think he only had around 16,000 healing.
Yeah, that's true.
In that game, but that's, you know, that'll happen when you're getting stomped. Though.
Here's stolzey, though. He's on the Androxus. He should be feeling much more comfortable here. One dash. He's going to go on to PrinceDannyTV. Doesn't miss. Hits 4 in a row. stolzey looking to come back strong. Hits 4 more. Double kill for the big man with a plan. That's 3. Awry picks up the final shot. But stolzey with that reversal made it happen. This is what we like to see here. Back on his main, able to press W. The withdrawal is going to buy Grapple a little bit of time, and PrinceDannyTV may get some revenge here. In fact, he will, but Wi-Fi, great pull. It's not going to mean anything for him. He's going to have to fall back. There's going to be some Cassie dodge rolling and some pressure by the Fernando. But are they a little too far, Nick? Could ElZulu be in trouble here?
There's not a lot of members here from Team Eager to try and punish this, and what happened to the other member? I felt like stolzey killed everyone and had a lot of attention drawn to him as well. There's 2 more coming back into that. stolzey just carrying Eager right now.
He can get rid of Rovaniik. That's going to be huge. Bitey just stays there. There's nowhere to go. Rovaniik finally goes down, though, and this is something that was unusual to what we were seeing last game, Nick. There was almost no moment that Rovaniik was down and out and not a part of these team fights, making a huge impact. The more times he's back to base, the more of a better chance that Team Eager have to win this one. 60% on the objective. He spots Rovaniik poppy bombing up into the air. Cursed Arm is here. He wants to take out the Bomb King. Almost gets a double. He's not going to be able to do a great instinctive reversal. Hits it. Pinpoint accuracy. And another steps to safety for a moment. Wow. Nice headshot to finish off the kill.
Big burst damage coming through on the backside from that EV. Unable to get the kill just yet here, but Hyper Beam knocking Fernando far off that point. It's going to put AGG in an awkward spot. They have to throw their Shaolin onto the point just to keep things going, and he's going to be taken down. Fernando comes back in, low HP, sitting in an Ice Storm. He's going to go down just to the persistent damage from the Ice Storm. No follow-up needed. ShadeeyShades with the no-look.
I love that play by Bitey. You know, you don't think Fernando getting off the point is that impressive because you don't kill him. He's not there. He goes off the point. That forces, you said, Shaolin. It forces Bomb King. It forces a lot of different players to jump on the point when they wouldn't want to. So when Fernando gets back, he's got basically no support. I love that decision there by Bitey.
That's the type of decision making that I think Bitey is known for. He's not afraid to bring these new characters in. He's not afraid to bring new ideas to the table. An old way to win a team fight there off the back, but beautiful Dread Serpent from Awry. 3 kills for nothing. stolzey finally taken down. Fernando is going to be soon to follow here. ShadeeyShades getting into the backline. Beautiful hook there. Doesn't even use it on the Fernando, but Prince Danny bringing a couple down with him.
Wow, good stuff by Prince Danny to stay alive on this Cassie. He's really making ShadeeyShades work for this kill. He may not even get killed here, and now ShadeeyShades is in trouble. They may pick him up. stolzey comes over to save the day, kills PrinceDannyTV, and saves Shadeey's life. Bitey, though, is in trouble here, but Rovaniik goes down yet again thanks to stolzey. This is a totally different Eager. They are focusing down this Bomb King, and it is being much less impactful. You can expect a hook to come out from Wi-Fi, and it did. 1,000 damage onto the Bomb King, and a stun to follow will make sure that the Fernando goes down on the side of ElZulu.
The dot damage did pick up Awry, and Grapple found stolzey on the front side of this Wi-Fi. Just trying to get out of combat here and heal back up. Ultimate's coming online. Hyper Beam is going to be effective down the stretch here on Serpent Beach. A lot of hazard zone off, and not a lot of good ways to counter it. Shaolin, he's done for. It's very difficult to actually poppy bomb yourself out of a Hyper Beam and get back on the map. Fernando is probably the best at it. Ying has to have a clone to link back onto the map too, but big 1v1 in the backline there. Prince Danny coming out on top now. Chance to roll back in. This hook could send him back to a grave, but
Danny
miss.
Danny's absolutely just being the savior that AGG need right now. I mean, he's won that fight against ShadeeyShades twice now. Forced stolzey to come over to win it that first time, and now just clearly wins it, puts ShadeeyShades out of his misery and back to base. And he has been kind of the guy that stepped up in place of Rovaniik here, not having the best of games as we've seen before. Up in the rafters, though, it seems to be a focus onto him. PrinceDannyTV goes down thanks to Wi-Fi. Following up on the Dread Serpent, Hyper Beam from Bitey will make sure that Grapple goes down. stolzey picks up 2 in the process, and it is all Eager. AGG have been wiped clean. 5 men down thanks to the ultimate combinations and the aim from these champions, and that's a successful push by Eager. Just masterclass stuff.
What a team fight there. Only 2 ultimates to do it as well. Dread Serpent, Hyper Beam. They're going to be up pretty soon here, and already with the Resilience 3, so basically what that's telling me is Bitey is maybe looking to eat some of these Grumpy Bombs and just not really care. He doesn't. That's what was screwing him last game, is he had to get all the way off the point, out of line of sight of that Grumpy Bomb. This time around, he can eat it, and he's only going to be stunned for, you know, 0.3 seconds.
0.3 seconds.
With that 90% CC reduction, same thing with the Shaolin Impale. Grapple basically 100-0'd him in the previous round with that combination. That's just not going to be the case anymore.
I love this. I mean, I've been a big proponent of resilience. We've talked about this quite a long time. If you're dying because of a Bomb King, if you're dying because of a Pip, it becomes so much more of an effective pick. And definitely, you could say that the reason they have been having their woes, especially some of the characters like Bitey, Torvald, has been because
Torvald's HP is shield. It doesn't get Haven and Blast Shields don't mitigate it. He's only got, you know, the 3,000 out of the shield HP, and now here comes Rovaniik.
Oh my!
Oh my God! Is not. A Cursed Arm is now ready to go. He's going to get himself up in the bird's nest here. Great vantage point for anyone looking to aggress onto the point. 48% and climbing already for Eager.
I mean, I'm really not trying to take 1v1s against stolzey. Rovaniik would have probably got that on many other people, but stolzey just shows with Androxus in his hands that he is still one of the best. Bubble Boy, nice dimensional link's going to put him out of the fight for now. He's got no movement speed, but he's still staying around, and they're just not focusing him. Again, he's going to have probably a pretty good stat line in terms of his deaths, and he is still keeping that healing up, keeping AGG in this fight. 46% for them, but now back in control of Eager. 84% on the objective. Ultimates are about to start making an impact. King Bomb is available for AGG.
ShadeeyShades finds Prince Danny as well. He's been so critical to their team fights. Here comes the stun from the King Bomb, but Bitey's already out of it. That Resilience 3 coming into play in this team fight. Poppy Bomb,
Hyper Beam.
not gonna be able to knock him out as well. Hyper Beam keeping him juggled up in the air, and Bitey comes out on top of the back of that Resilience 3 play.
It just bought them time. Again, it just buys time. Rovaniik doesn't even take damage from that, but he tries. It messes up the aim. stolzey and Wi-Fi come in, and this is just the strength of that ultimate, the strength of resilience against a deadly Bomb King.
I mean, Hyper Beam does do damage. I got pinned in a corner and took 1,100 damage from a full duration Hyper Beam, so it's definitely nothing to scoff. Great Dread Serpent up onto the high ground. Precision detonation there, hitting the shots as well. Just doesn't get any kills, but those two were coming in to try and reinforce Zulu and Prince Danny, just separating the team fight with that Dread Serpent there. Awry making a great play. Bubble Boy puts Bubble Boy too low to rotate back into the team fight, or he's a guaranteed kill as well. So now with a chance to really get AGG staggered.
stolzey's done a good job hunting down Bubble Boy, taking down the healing, and putting it on a 5-second respawn timer now from the rest of his team. ElZulu's up in the front, but will he be in trouble here? Runic Blast and protection available soon. He's going to use the protection on to stolzey, who's going to continue his winning ways on Grapple. And now ElZulu is definitely exposed here. Rovaniik is down, so Bitey has a little bit less to worry about. Going to be able to protect his teammates and heal up with recharge in a minute, thanks to the Fernando shield as well.
And the hook in's gonna be good, and the Hyper Beam is charged, primed, ready to go. He's gonna go for it, pulls the Yin clone off of the map as well.
Wow.
So Bubble Boy has nowhere to dimensional link back onto the map.
But still alive is Bubble Boy. He's still alive in this fight, somehow made it out despite being super focused there by Bitey's ultimate Hyper Beam. So shout outs to him just being a hero and keeping his team's healing up. He has been hard to kill. That's been the theme of this game for them. And stolzey yet to really focus down on him. He's been going on PrinceDannyTV, who's commanded all the attention. Immortal comes out from Fernando. Wi-Fi pops into the Ancient Rage. Shell spin. Gonna try to swipe on Bubble Boy, but a dimensional link will put him away again. They cannot kill this healer on the side of AGG, and it is making all the difference in these fights.
Bubble Boy, the attention of so much focus, staying alive, and that's all you can really ask of your Ying player. That's all she needs to do, staying alive, avoiding all of the heat that AGG or that Eager are putting onto him, and AGG is there to clean up, to keep their man safe. Beautiful stuff there from Bubble Boy.
And, you know, when you use the dimensional link, it goes in the direction of either your last clone, if you're not facing a clone, or where your clones are. You have a lot of room you can cover, especially if you're able to deploy your clones at a farther range. One of the loadouts that a lot of Ying players run is just increasing that deploy range. Bubble Boy using that to the maximum advantage here and really forcing this overtime situation when Eager could have already won this. Now Rovaniik's back in the fight. Bitey using the recharge off of the Fernando shield, and he's going to get a little bit of time saved, but he will not stay alive here. The defense will be successful thanks to the heroics of the Ying and especially the rally by AGG to make it a 3-1 and not a 4-0.
Not getting anything off of that hyper beam was definitely not something that Bitey wanted, and now Wi-Fi seeing the success that Bitey's having with his resilience, he's gone into it as well. Rejuvenates 3s coming through for him off the bat. Wrecker 2, it's going to be online. It's kind of a strange pickup for me though. Granted, I guess it's just there to cover Bitey in case Bitey doesn't have recharge available to him, but they have to have some sort of answer for the Fernando shield because they've got no other way through it, frankly. Eevee and Droxus just take too long. The shield will probably time out before those characters can actually DPS it down.
Life Rip 2 getting picked up on Rovaniik. Interesting choice. He's getting about 990 per bomb as a result of that healing back. He is probably running the cards that I like to run on Bomb King that gives him 15 healing per sticky, so he might be getting more than 100 health back on every bomb. When you're in a fight, 200-300 health can make a big difference. Trying to destroy the shields, trying to destroy the turtle.
Resilience.
But he gets out of it with resilience, and he kills Rovaniik instead. Awry keeping his teammates alive with mending spirits and keeping everyone healthy. Bitey with hyper beam on the point, chilling. Those resilience 3s showing up.
Yeah, I don't really like the life rip on the Bomb King, because anyone that's going to be shooting him has cauterized. ShadeeyShades, Awry, and stolzey all with that online. Big Dread Serpent as well to shut down Rovaniik. ShadeeyShades finds PrinceDanny in the back line, shredding through this Fernando shield with the recharge, but taking a lot of damage in the process. He's actually being pushed right now. Bitey gonna go down to ElZulu.
Up in the air is Androxus trying to finish off Bubble Boy, wanting to see where he's going to dimensional link to. It comes with the stun prepared juicily by Maldamba Snakes, but it is not going to save anyone's life, especially with ShadeeyShades on the back side. One does go down, that's Wi-Fi, but other than that, Eager are looking healthy and in control. Not on the point yet. They want to get another kill, and that was what they needed. ElZulu now down, gives Bitey the ability to use the hyper beam. Again, zoning out. He might even take this grumpy bomb. He just sits in it. 0.3 seconds later, he's out, and that's a victory for Team Eager, sponsored by Resilience.
Definitely there. That and G Fuel. Able to just get you hyped up, get you out of that grumpy bomb.
Our fuel, dude.
A little bit quicker there. ElZulu going down there at the end, getting kind of... He pushed Bitey, he found the kill, but then he didn't have the healer, so it would have been wiser to just get out of combat and heal up. He stayed at low HP for so long there, and that's a big key member to pick off there, especially when it's coming down to overtime, when it comes down to the wire. stolzey still king of the damage charts here on this Androxus, 72,000.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes we're saying stolzey's name a lot, and it's for good. It's important. It's important because he's making these plays that a lot of other players in that damage role don't necessarily make. It makes a difference. You know, if Dosips plays at the level that stolzey played here on that carry, like as Maeve, if he does a complimentary performance like this, blows the damage out of the water for both teams, they might win that game. It might not be AGG here, but stolzey playing to his name. He's got a lot of people who know he's one of the better ones, but he's still showing up every single time.
I just feel that Eager are playing better as a team than Astral Authority did in that. There would have been more bubbles onto Maeve in the backline. There would have been more hook combat. We just weren't seeing that. Bitey and Wardoom are very different frontline players in terms of Wardoom is hyper aggressive, likes to do it all himself. Bitey is very team centric in the way that he plays. He wants to rely on all of his guys. Wardoom's a guy, I didn't even hear him speak a word. I don't even know what he sounds like. He's just not a big communicator.
Yeah, especially, you know, outside of the game as well. And you know, in comms things can change, but you could already tell a lot about personalities. Bitey's
yeah,
boisterous.
contrary. I didn't hear him shut up. If you watch any of the VODs from HRX, that loud-ass voice in the crowd is Bitey. Every time, no matter, you know, high pitch, low pitch, thunder sticks.
Bitey.
That's Bitey.
We
It's
love
always
him.
him.
And you know what? He's a lovable guy because he does speak his mind, and it allows for when you have
Teams
people
need
who
that.
are open for that. You gotta have that guy who's talking. How do you know what's up? You know, one of the biggest things when you get from the casual to the competitive scene is learning how to communicate. What do you need? When do you need it? What's available? A lot of these things people don't like. You're just randomly talking. I got shield in 3. I got shield in 2. Those are the types of things that help make a difference and change plays, allow Wi-Fi to go for a clearer hook knowing he's going to be safe or to back off, and that can result in the win or a loss. Right here, the draft is already underway. Shaolin, Cassie, and Makoa selected for AGG, so Wi-Fi will be off of that. They didn't have success that last game that he wasn't, and Maldamba Fernando selected for Eager.
But they have Fernando this time, and if Torvald is something that they want to lean on, I like this adjustment in the draft from Eager. Fernando definitely can solo tank, and that's not really the question here. Now with the opportunity to last pick the Torvald, AGG have to kind of keep that in their mind going forward. They don't have a healer. They don't have a second frontliner. They're kind of like in a corner in terms of they picked Shaolin and Cassie for their damage. They still need either another frontliner or a healer.
And there's not an inherently, like, I wouldn't say there's an inherently amazing direct counter to Bomb King. But Bomb King is more of an inherently direct counter to certain champions. So it's kind of safe for AGG to take it to maybe ward off another Torvald, or at least attempt to.
The counter to Bomb King is ping.
Exactly. And skill, right? And high skill. But the Grover and Bomb King selected, I think Torvald could still come out here. It is. And I think that was smart by AGG. You know, if you look at it like Kinessa, maybe you're scared because they might be able to pick, you know, someone else to counter that. Bomb King, that's a safe grab, especially the way Rovaniik's been playing.
Maybe Maeve could be a decent.
That's what I was thinking, but I don't know yet.
You know,
too early to tell.
Bomb King is, it is early to tell. We haven't seen enough of that 1v1 matchup, and just how much health Bomb King has makes him difficult for Maeve to burst down, and likewise, he does so much damage. He's only got to hit 2, maybe 3 shots to take the Maeve down. So Bitey, though, going to be back on Torvald this time around with Resilience and Rejuvenate as his first 2 items picked up.
I don't mind.
What a beautiful start.
I don't mind the start at all.
That's
I really
high
like
value.
it. Yeah,
it's 2 items.
ShadeeyShades starting with the Cauterize on Eevee, Wi-Fi on the Fernando, stolzey on Androxus, Awry on Maldamba for Team Eager.
Bubble Boy will be on Grover this time around. Danny on Cassie, Rovaniik on Bomb King, Grapple with the Wrecker on Shaolin. ElZulu out of the gate, going to be the first one to the point here with his Master Riding. And that Master Riding is going to be so crucial at times to just get back to these point fights if things don't go well, but also to be able to affect these fights and just getting around to the right position when you want to start things out. PrinceDannyTV going after stolzey. stolzey going to catch some with the reversal, and the first blood will be stolzey with that reversal damage on to Rovaniik. So that one was sponsored actually by PrinceDannyTV. Unfortunately, doesn't go his way. Prince Danny killed Rovaniik.
Team Eager, basically.
Friendly fire, kick him. Boot this man, ban him.
Team Eager here with 54% on the objective so far. Looking pretty good with the zone. Rovaniik still not able to find much, Nick.
And win or lose this fight, 54% on the point already for Team Eager, and they're winning the fight. This is when this is when it comes in where this is that situation where you put it all on the line, where you're fighting from the point and you win that fight, and then that's the only fight that you need to win. 81%. No one from AGG is going to be able to get back to this point in time to even contest this. Free first payload going to Eager. Eager just finding the rhythm now, finding the vibe. They are ready to go into this one. It is bobsled time. We're going to push this payload time, I think is more appropriate here. Eager with 2 minutes and 15 seconds, doing their best to kind of stave off Rovaniik, again, getting any rhythm, but he picks up Wi-Fi, and that could be the start they don't want to give this deadly Bomb King. Blinking in, blinking out. ShadeeyShades trying to find some pick right now. Some poke damage. Prince Danny finds Awry, almost gets the hook off the map. stolzey, though, gonna punt it. Maybe that's a pretty decent counter, I think, to Rovaniik, because so much of that burst damage, if it's absorbed by reversal, is gonna make it, you know, all things told, probably equal in the health department, because Androx is sitting at just 500 under that Bomb King, absorbs 1 shot, from Rovaniik is going to equal things out in the health department.
Absolutely. Grapple picks up a kill on the ShadeeyShades. The other dynamic.
He's kind of fat, too. He's kind of easy to hit.
He's a bigger body, especially if you're Androxus and you're flanking from the backside. I think it really depends on who sees who first. stolzey with his reactions has been very good, but so is Rovaniik. I mean, he's one of the better aimers, especially having the ability to play Bomb King. It just showcases your ability to aim and to be accurate in this game. The Dread Serpent, 2 ultimates come out.
Oh,
that's the Eevee Ice Storm. Bubble Boy actually trying.
He walks into the Dread Serpent during Whirlwind there.
But walks in.
And just got feared away.
Unfortunate by him. And now Grapple still free firing in the back line. Trying to find Awry. Can't do it. Gets silenced out and dies. Oh my god. Torvald coming in big for Team Eager. Keeps the healer alive with a protection to boot.
And stolzey just continuing to slaughter everyone in the back line here. 3v1 for Rovaniik. His days are numbered. Here's the Hyper Beam just to give them space. Makoa's gone. So is Grover here. Doesn't have the Vine to get back in. Just going to have to dive onto this one just to stall long enough. Hoping, praying. He's got the Rosebuds from the Valentine's Day chest here, but he finds no love from Eager.
You know, there's 2 things about that were so impressive, Nick. That was sponsored by Bitey and Torvald specifically. That silence out of planted, that was so strong. And also, Bubble Boy. He's on a character that's a lot easier to kill. Talk about big hitboxes. Grover, a lot different than playing a Ying.
He's a fatty, and it's not like... Oh, at HRX anyway, we would see this Grover come out on maps like Frozen Garb where there's a lot of long area denial. And Fishing Village, it is one of those types of maps where, but you have to be in a position to where you are zoning right now, and it's almost like the win more condition, right? Grover's, he's fine, and that's just a little sprinkle on top if you're already winning the point fight. But AGG haven't been in that situation, and Grover doesn't really excel in terms of bullying his way back onto a point. He's so heavily countered by Cauterize that's already Cauterized 2 online for stolzey.
And he's got that Vine. If he can get to safety, great. But if he can't get to safety, he's got that 1 move, and that's it. Ying can buy so much more time. And look at ElZulu just losing that shield right away. First pick, Makoa is not looking so sexy in front of a Fernando that's bubbled with 2k HP by Torvald. And Torvald himself, the Runic Sage, being so impactful here. And Team AGG still fighting their way onto this point.
I mean, that's the counter that you talked about, right? The first time that Fernando gets hooked in, just silence the damage. The second time he gets hooked in, bubble the damage. And, you know, there's just answers every single time that hook comes off cooldown. There's a way for Torvald to counter that burst. He's so good at that, and 58% on the point for AGG, but they're not in control of the zone right now. Eager are quickly closing that gap.
And I really do like the way, you see as the King Bomb comes through, the bubbles have been applied to Wi-Fi in the front line, but there's the Planet. Him taking on 2 is not going to be to his advantage. That leaves Shaolin alive, but stolzey's alive as well. What a Dread Serpent just to mix things up. He hits the reversal from that distance. Grapple's in the heat haze though, so stolzey's going to take cover, knowing that Grapple 2-shot him last time, but this is all Eager once more. 100% captured. 3-0 Eager on Fish Market.
Awry's Dread Serpents have been beautiful.
They
not like the not like, I mean, they are kind of playmaking, but they kind of aren't. They're not the super flashy ones where everyone just gets wiped that gets hit by it, but it cuts off the reinforcements. It splits up the team fight. It just makes AGG, they can't go where they want to go. It's complete area denial. They've come through beautiful precision detonations on those as well. Great stuff from Awry.
I mean, it also just feels like he's setting it up. It's like he's throwing these alley-oops. He's throwing the assist there. And Torvald does get hooked off the map. Unfortunately, ElZulu falls as well as a result of that trade. So both teams lose a tank. But Eager, they've got 1 more than AGG, so this is not going to be the best position for them. Bubble Boy in trouble, and again, can't Dimensional Link anywhere, can't get the healing anywhere when that Blossom is cooled down. Those clones will not passively heal him, and so he goes down. A lot less of a lifespan we've seen from Bubble Boy in these last games.
We haven't been spectating ShadeeyShades a lot, but there are just random kill. He just gets random kills that just pop up on the kill feed in situations that they're not really intense team fights or anything. Double kill for stolzey here. Whirlwind from Bubble Boy. He's going to try and buy some time, but he's falling quickly. Triple kill. Here comes the accursed arm. Make it a quadra kill. Team Eager just... AGG saved by the bell. No pentakill for stolzey there. They push it through, and they get the 4-0.
And they're just feeling themselves. I mean, and you're giving him Androxus again. Here's where it starts to get tricky because what can you do? I mean, there's only so many things you can. You're basically trying to make sure your front lines are okay, and there's been a lot of countering for front lines here. But now stolzey playing so well on Androxus, it's almost like we got to try to take that away.
He's slaughtering everyone right now. 53,000 damage. Androxus is not a character that typically takes top damage, especially over people like Cassie or even Bomb King or even Shaolin, especially these guys that don't have that fall off. stolzey is just in their face, and Torvald is the character that is allowing him to do so and get out safely.
Yeah, so much to credit to Wi-Fi and to ShadeeyShades as well, and to Awry. I mean, those 46,000 healing, very, very strong in comparison. Only 1 death as well. But man, those Dread Serpents were really on point.
They're on point.
He's
every time.
Setting up all of these fights in this snowball going on for his team.
Absolutely. Cutting off reinforcements with the Dread Serpent. ShadeeyShades, you know, stolzey's got the bubbles oftentimes to get him in and out, but ShadeeyShades is out there doing it by himself. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's not even really team fights going on, and I would just see ShadeeyShades getting kills, just like random things popping up in the kill feed. And that's what keeps this snowball alive for Eager. You see these wins 4-1, 4-0. It was only on Jaguar fault. That was just not a good draft, I don't think, from AGG. stolzey's Drogos was not really... It's not comparable to his Androxus.
I mean,
say that much.
Yeah, let's say that much for sure. And now we'll see. I'm sure Eager finds the rhythm, and can AGG answer back? Makoa will be taken yet again. It's going to leave Eager with the same opportunities to pick up Drogos, potentially, Maldamba, potentially, Fernando, potentially, things that they valued here. I would expect the Fernando Maldamba.
That's fine. That's fine.
And that's what they go for.
The Torvald coming in last. If AGG can't,
they might take it, man.
Pick it up. It's going to be rough for them, because Eager being able to draft an impact champion last teams win every time when they can do that.
Exactly. And AGG is kind of just falling into that pattern. They want to take the Cassie. They want to take the Shaolin. They like the damage champions for Prince Danny and for Grapple, especially if you're going to have Makoa there.
Maybe Androxus here even. You got to get stolzey off of it. You got to put him somewhere where he's not comfortable.
That's very important, and that is what AGG decide to do. So they take the damage champions here, and it puts Eager in a good spot again, where they've got the frontline advantage if they want to take Torvald yet again in this round. And they can pick up a Cassie here, which is okay. I mean, stolzey can play Cassie pretty well. They've got people who can play Cassie well. Maeve, though, could really come out here. We might be able to see maybe ShadeeyShades Maeve here on Stone Keep, especially.
Could be. Have the room to draft it as well. Will be the EV, though.
Okay.
I mean, frankly, his EV has been way better than his Maeve thus far.
Okay.
From what I've seen. And the Torvald coming in last, the Bomb King, Ying here, probably going to be the selection for AGG if they hold true to their strategy. No, they haven't gotten into the Ruckus very often. The double frontliner, not something that they're leaning very heavily on.
Wow, that's an interesting call. Buck will be the decision from AGG. The flank pressure on Stone Keep. Buck can't make it to that third tier by himself, unlike Eevee, unlike Androxus, who could fly up there. So they've already got someone to handle that area, and Ruckus is picked up for Eager instead of Torvald on this map. They feel that they're going to have the advantage there with that DPS. And to be honest, I think because of the height advantages, the distance on Stone Keep on the point fight where Shaolin can stand, Ruckus is going to be able to impact that a little bit more.
And maybe they feel, you know, the Torvald isn't something they need to draft into, because stolzey on this Cassie is mobile enough, can defend herself from Buck. The stain coming out from her onslaught, from her lifer, if he picks it up, plus the disengage. Plus, you can just kite. Buck is so easy to kite. And just, I feel he's going to really struggle to lock anyone down. He's not going to be able to lock. God bless you. You're not going to get ShadeeyShades on this Eevee. Awry is going to be so heavily protected by Wi-Fi and Bitey. stolzey's really his only option, and it's not a great look.
And on the side of these teams, to last game
he's
potentially here.
Too, so
stolzey going for yeah, exactly. Rovaniik going Wrecker, trying to get these shields. Maybe going to help focus down Bitey on the point. Just give get Ruckus out of the fight and finish things off. And that's exactly what he tries to do here. And he does decent damage. We call him the shotgun sniper for a lot of reasons. One is that he does damage from distance, and that's a great game plan. All of a sudden, just get one, make it a 4v5. Unless stolzey can really turn this around on Rovaniik, it's going to be a very big advantage for Team AGG. Buck can't get quite up there though. And so he is going to go down. So stolzey gets 2 in this process, Nick. Ooh. And now Rovaniik falls to ShadeeyShades. Like you said, popping up out of nowhere, getting the kill.
Gets punched in the face by Eevee out of nowhere. And Bitey really only went down there. He went down by himself, but he did capture, 30, 40% on the point. So, you know, not the worst thing to happen to Eager, and the hook clips on the curb there and does not pull him up. Now in a bad spot is his Makoa. ElZulu takes a spell very early on in this team fight here, and not a good spot. Grapple's all alone off to one side. AGG once again looking very splintered in their team fight.
Bitey is back with a vengeance, and Eager are back with a captured objective. 1-0 goes the score in the potential final game here for Eager. They can round things out, close out the set and the day if they get a win, but they are 3 points away from doing that. Damage over time should tick away on the Bubble Boy. He's back on the Ying, feeling comfortable, and finally going down, as is ElZulu in the process. 2 minutes still for them to push.
And we talk about, you know, how vocal Bitey is, how important that role is for him to, you know, maybe it gets annoying, maybe you get, if you're not the type of person that can play with a guy like that, it's gonna hurt your team synergy. But, you know, they all seem like they're pretty level-headed guys, pretty content to just kind of take the orders, and they're all playing so well. Every single one of them is playing so well right now, and maybe that's off the back of Bitey's leadership.
And it could be just off the back of one of the things you said, synergy. I mean, you know, you could all have a plan to just take out one guy. Maybe it's not the best guy, maybe it's not the biggest threat, but if you just take out one person, you already put yourself in an advantage. And maybe it's not the right call, but if you do the wrong call with 100% consistency and commitment, it can turn into the right call.
I believe so heavily in that. They have just as much HP as you do. Like, even if you're a pro player or not, even if you're just a casual player, that's the mentality you have to have if you ever queue into guys like this. Don't get scared. Just, you got to focus on playing your game, hitting your shots. They have just as much health as you do. You do just as much damage as they do. Just keep a level head, and you can come out on top. And Eager, you know, playing as a unit, playing as just that Voltron right now, it feels all together, you know, hitting the same mark at the same time.
Bitey picking up Rejuvenate 2 now. Really loving that item, and as a frontliner, I got to say, I'm definitely all in agreement with that. Gonna give you 20% extra healing in the early game. It could be incredibly impactful against those cauterizes. The bubble comes out. ElZulu already in trouble. Picked up the Makoa as a first pick, but he's gonna go down first in this fight against Eager. 30% on the objective. stolzey picked off by Rovaniik, the shotgun sniper indeed. Wasn't even close to him as that happened, but Rovaniik will be in the back line still, following up kills that he has done earlier. Now, 56% on the objective, about to go in, but here comes the Buck Wild.
Yep, CC immunity there. Oh, steps into the Dread Serpent, gets taken down, but not before he takes Wi-Fi down with him. Here's the Ancient Rage on the point as well. ElZulu's looking to get some work done here, just staying alive. Bubble Boy credited for the kill. On to Bitey with his last breath, takes Awry down with him.
Bubble Boy still alive. That's been the theme when he's been able to play Ying. He's done incredibly well for AGG. First kind of spot we've seen him on the roster, but that Eevee's Ice Blast is going to do quite a lot of damage, especially if it hits you square in the head. ElZulu, without a hope, without a prayer, but with a definite attention coming from Eevee and a Ruckus, he's going to pull out, and he's going to make sure that his team can at least try to defend this here and not be so staggered.
Just disjointed right now, just trickling death after death after death. They're not waiting. They're not really fighting as a unit. They're not just lean on this Makoa. You have the burst damage here. I mean, hell, even the Ying contributing for 700 damage off the back of the hook. All of that is good stuff. There's a hook on, but immediate peel from Wi-Fi there is going to get his Cassie out safe. Buck's trying to get in there in the back line, but already feeling the heat from the Flamelands.
Wi-Fi coming in, trying to finish off PrinceDannyTV. And it looks like ShadeeyShades will get that credit for that kill. Grapple in the back line. Wi-Fi not near the fight at all, so hard to kind of see what's going on up in front of him. But there is Grapple. He gets taken down as well. Bubble Boy in the back line, staying alive yet again. Throwing the Ying clones, trying to keep ElZulu in the fight as much as possible. Getting a little bit of focus, gonna pull back in. This is it for AGG. They've got to stop it all here. Hexafyre's available though, and Ruckus has way too much health for me to really feel comfortable with this, but all of a sudden Grapple ends that one. But again, a Dread Serpent from Awry is on point.
Precision detonation there as well to land onto stolzey. Easy cleanup there for him. He's still alive. Wi-Fi is now here. Grapple's right in front of Awry, but he doesn't see him. He just bails out. ElZulu goes down. No one's here except Grapple. One more shot's gonna do it. Here comes the trickle from AGG. Buck just leaps off the payload, and Eager win.
Well, it
Later,
was Something Buck didn't maybe even want to deal with. He knew that they had...
Maybe he thought Bubble Boy stayed there. Bubble Boy linked back up onto the high ground there. And I mean, there's not much either of them could do. The fight, like, you can get mad at your teammates. Why did you get on the payload? At that point, when they're trickling on, the game is over at that point. There is such a small chance for them to actually come back against an Eager that's playing as tight as they are right now. The game's over at that point.
And that is actually not only the game, it's the set, it's the match, it's the finals. They are going to be your new winners of the open bracket qualifiers for this week. We'll take a look at the standings right now and see what that does to their play. So, after being rounded, basically knocked out in the round of 16, they are second place in the North America standings, only behind Xenasy, who was beaten earlier by Eager in, I believe, the round of 8.
Yep, so Xenasy, 110. I mean, these are tied for third here. Astro Authority and AGG with 100. And the difference between first, second, and third is 5 points. So anything could happen. We still have 2 more weeks of open bracket play. Shout-outs to Wisefrag, the Goobers down there with 25 points. Stay triggered.
Stay triggered, man. And you know what? Make sure that you also stay in love. You know, Nick's kept this note the whole time. He hasn't given this away, guys. That's because it meant a lot to him. You want to mean a lot to the ones that you love. That means you get that Valentine's Day chest. And you can get all this cool stuff. New sprays, unicorn mount, new skins, new weapons. You got to be there. We'll see you all very soon. Next weekend, we're going to do the same exact thing here, 3 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday for EU and Sunday for North America. It's going to be a pleasure seeing where this scene goes, what kind of upsets and crazy stuff we'll see happen then. I don't know, but I'm really excited for it.
Stay tuned for the Realm recap featuring I Hold Shift and Xenasy's coach, Meta Pusher, coming up right after this on the Paladins Game channel.
My name's Rene. That's Hi-Rez Pretty Hair. As always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and we'll see you all in the Realm.